The next topic I'd like to discuss is vendor controls and the vendor file. Did you know that it's an industry best practice to deactivate vendors not used, typically between a 12 and 24-month period? That is the industry most typical sale date period. Now, DFA conducts its annual inactivation process after we issue the 1099s. 1099 is an IRS requirement that we issue to vendors who receive payments from the state. In practice, we typically use a 31 to 42-month inactivation period. So when we go about doing our 2014 inactivation, typically at mid-year, the time frame is somewhere between 31 months last active or as much as 42 months. One of the observations we made is that when we reactivate vendors that we have been deactivated, there is a lot of information that's changing. Banking information, address information, contact information. All of this is critical information and just shows the reason or justifies the reason for inactivating these vendors because the data is not accurate. On our next inactivation cycle or process, highlighted in gold on the table to the right, we will be inactivating roughly 7,979 vendors. And did you know that 12% of these vendors were never used? That is, last activity was equal to creation date. That 12% represents 20 days of our vendor organization staff time. That is, it took 20 days of our vendor staff to set these vendors up, and they were never used. It's important that we only set up vendors that we're going to use. This is important for two reasons. First, workload, and secondly, you don't want to set up any vendor you're not going to use in your vendor system because that is your payment system. It is a control concern. Let's talk a little bit about vendor setup, responsibility, and capacity. To set up a vendor, we use a W-9 or an appropriate substitute. A W-9 is a tax information report or document. The IRS does not require that we send it to it, but the IRS requires it to be on file in case they come and audit us. The W-9 is a contractor's representation. State employees should never fill out a W-9. It is the vendor's responsibility. It also should be a contract condition that you will, as a contractor, supply us with or fill out a W-9. W-9s must be complete and legible. We check for duplicate vendor setups based on the W-9. Never set it up unless will be used. And we mentioned that before, is that it uses our daily capacity. Additionally, it is an entrance into the payment system. It is the submitting agency's responsibility to ensure authenticity, and the agency should have proper controls in place to ensure that it is being submitted, it is authentic, and it's being submitted by the vendor you're doing business with. On the right-hand side is a table of the last 6 months of activity. As you'll note, our vendor relations organization has a capacity of setting up about 50 vendors per day.